Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go over something someone mentioned yesterday first, while some people are still coming in. So I'm not going to talk about new content yet, but just go over something that I find would be pretty interesting. And also, if there's any problem on seeing screen share or anything, please message me in the chat box or just speak out. So I will create a new project. Day 2 question. So basically, someone asked about like the some application of the lens, and also people asked about like how to count the character or how to count the word in the certain string or like a certain passage with Python. So what I can do is that I can create my string, and I just copied a part of my self introduction, because that would be easier. So I have a string like this, and this is just way too long, so I'm going to separate it to several parts, but for viewing it much more easier, and you have this, and then by counting the character, what we can do is that we can simply create a variable, and what we need is that we just want the length of the string. So the length of string just counts each character from like I, and then a hyphen, and then M, and then space. So that's the way that we can count the character. So what we can do is that we can print this out. Turn this off. Wait a second. You just turn several things off. Yeah, now it's good. So we can print it out. Print character count, and we can run it. So this is this 2 class, and put it up. That's 157. And then we can also count on the, someone asked a question, let me check that. Okay, yeah. So then we can like count the word. So how we're going to count the word is that we are going to split the string according to the space and put them into the list so that each word is in a same list. And then we can count the elements in the list to determine how many words are there. So basically, we can create a list. To move things around, it's a bit messy. Sorry about that. Okay. So we can create a list, and we can just my string and split the string. So we add according to a space, and then we can print out the length of the list, which is the number of the words. So 23, we can just count here to make sure is there like 23 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So this does work. And sometimes when we encounter the string, when we encounter a passage, it's not just everything on the same line, but we will have like several sentences. We have multiple sentences. So what we are going to do, for example, we will first like create a string with multiple lines, 3 quotation mark on each side, and that's a passage. So I'm going to write is just, I'm Michelle, I'm teaching Python. I'm teaching Python. Nice to meet everyone. And then what we are going to do is that we need to know that if we start a new sentence, start a new line, then actually between the two lines, there will not be a space because Python like actually link by line, link between line is like an and then the next line. So there's no space. So if I split by space, then like this two will be counted as the same elements, counted as the same words. And that's not what we are going to do. So we cannot count the word like that. As a result, we will first split them by line. So first we can like create a variable called line, which will store the each line in the my string 2 as an element. So the function we use is the one that we talked about yesterday, which is called split lines. We can just print out that to check print lines. So I'm Michelle, I'm teaching Python, nice to meet you. And now it is the same as the first situation like this, everything is on the same line. And what we can do is that we can split the word according to the space again. And because we need to count it, the words in each line, so we can write a for loop. So for I in each lines, and we can do the word equals to I dot split, and the word is actually a list which stores on the elements or like the each words on the same line. So split according to the space, and we can print out the word just to make sure do we do the right thing, but we don't really need it. And then we need to create a count variable to count the word and add them together. So it should be 0. At first, we need to initiate that, and then for every line, we need to add up the counts together. So basically, count plus equal to the length of the word, which is the length of the word is a list. The list tells how many words are there in the same line, and we can print out the counts. So print out it. So we have 9 here, and we can count the number of the words here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have like 9 words, and it's give us the right answer. And also something that we can do is that we can also like count like what's the frequency of certain letter or what's the frequency of certain words. So if we want to check the frequency of certain letter, so for example, we can just use my string, then we can count. So string has a function which is called count, and we want to check like how many A's are there. So we can just print that out, and it shows 23. And what we can also do is that we can count the words. So a problem of count the word is that if we just count that use a string function, for example, like we want to count I, but like we want to count a capitalized I. If we just put I here, then it will make some mistakes if like it's not like I love working out, it's like I love the capitalized internet. This would be counted as the I words. So this would be problematic. But someone would also argue probably I will add a space before this I. if I do this, probably sometimes it also have a space just before I, but it's still like not something like that. Like sometimes possibly before I there's like just some other thing, but it will not work like this. So what we are going to do is that basically we still just use the we will still use the one that we have already split out. So we have the list that's equals to my string split, which has each word as the element. So we can count the list, how many of them, how many words in the list are made of and. So wait, let's stop count. Yeah, it should be after this. We have the list here, so it should be here, and we can print that out. Then we get 2, so we can check that we have 2 and only here. So we have an and here, and we have another and here, and that's all. So that's the way if we want to check like how many words are there in a passage, how many characters are there, how many words are there in a passage. So I think it's quite useful. Also, like you can do that also like just with your Word document, but it's interesting to do that in Python. And then we are going to go to our day 3 class. So yeah, so I will create a new file and I will name that as Python file, and it will call day 3. So basically, yesterday we have go over string, and we haven't yet like go over randomization, if condition, and conditions and if statement for loops, while loops, functions, and also today we have time. We'll go to less and less comprehensions, and if we have extra time, also sets or dictionaries or algorithms and abstractions. So first, string, we haven't talked about all of them yet. I will talk about string modification first. So string modification is basically like the string modification format is we can format the things into different ways. So like for example, if we want to create a notification which tell us like how many dollar the software cost, then we will just write this. This software is, and we will have this curly brackets, and in curly brackets we will put what we want to reformat, and we need the price, and the price we have like 2 number after the points. The software is the price dollars, and we don't know the price yet. And we can print that out and call the format by using notification.format, and in the parentheses we put the price equals to, for example, like 50 divided by 3, and 15 divided by 3, if you don't format that in Python, it will give you like possibly, I don't really remember, but it's like 40 numbers after the point. However, you have this 2f, and then if you run that, it will give you only 2 number after the point, so 6, 7 only. And also you can change that like to 3, it will give you 3 number, and change to 4, it will give you 4 number. So that's called the format. So you need this the price here, the words should be corresponding with the words here, and we can make it a little bit more complicated. So for example, we can create a multiple line notification, and for this notification, what we can do is that possible we have a we can align that. So to align on the format is if you want to align something to the left, then you will put smaller or equal to sign. And if you want to align something in the middle, what you put is this like small like triangle like thing. And if you want to align something in the left, what you put is you will put a larger or equal to sign. So possibly if we go to a web page, then we will have the header, which like we have the name, we have the grade in the middle, and we have the price at the left. So like the price of the course or something like that. And then we will type like welcome to Python class. And we'll put the name as name and the grade as grade. We don't know that yet, but when we print that out, it will be here. It's similar to input somehow, but this can be with more not only like it occupies a place, but also you can like specify how it is put in such position, how many digits the number have. So that's like its difference to input. And the price you paid is, for example, we have a price, and we can specify the number after the point again. And we can also do like your progress should be a percent. So we can put a percent sign, and it will give us a percent. And then we can print that out. So to print that out, we need to call the notification and call its format function. And then in format, we have the name here. So we need to give the name a value. And then we have the grade. We need to give grade a number, and then we also have the price. So we can still like divide the price like 3 over 3 or something like that. And then we can also put the progress. So our progress should be, for example, like 95%. So 0.95, and we will get a percent sign. So we print that out. We can see like here is the top of the line, like Michelle is at the left, and then we have 12 in the middle. So we can also like arrange this like this. So we rearrange this. We can see that it's not like as if I first, and it means that it has been like aligned in different ways. You can also like make that in several different lines, and we can see that the name, the price, and the rate is different aligned. And then we have like some welcome to the Python class, and your name is Michelle, it just pop out here, and your grade is 12, it comes to here, and the price you paid, it is formatted to 1 digit after the point, and also your progress is format into a percent sign. And then we will talk about string concatenation, but possibly you already know that. I think probably we have talked about the first day, although I was like prepared to talk about in this place originally. So basically we have like a name, we have a camp name called recode, and we can just concatenate together. So we have like another name, so full name, and we can put name and camp name together. We can print that out. Full name is not defined. Full name L. So we have concatenate them together. We can also concatenate them with a space between them, or like several space between them. That's concatenation, but also just like I have also mentioned that before, if we concatenate that with a number, it will throw an error because it's string concatenation. The number cannot be concatenated. As a result, we can turn the number into a string and concatenate them together. And I have also briefly talked about escape characters before. So we have talked about like how to put a backslash, how to print out a backslash. That because when we use backslash, it already have it's used like the backslash and R. It is just deletes the content before this, and backslash and then B is like also like delete one character, which is just like the return button on our computer. And also like we also have like T, which is a tab, which if we print that out, it will put a tab before Michelle. So we have a tab here, and also like have like if we want to put a quote, because we have like a quote here and a quotation mark here. So if we really want to print out the quotation mark, then we need to put the slash, which as a result, if we really want to put a slash, we cannot do this. It will not give us anything, but we need to put 2/ to get the backslash printed out. And also like after the slash, we can also like specify a octal value, which we'll get to that later, or a hex value. When we talk about matplotlib, we'll talk about the hex value, and you can see that it is after /XHH, and then you will write the number of the hex. And so basically what I will talk about the next is we'll talk about randomization just briefly, and then we will talk about the loops. So to create a randomization to perform randomization, we do not have a random function that is directly built into the Python, not like Java, but we need to import random. Random is also a built-in package, but it's not like directly a function of Python. You don't need to download this package like NumPy or like Matplotlib. You can just use it, but it's essential for you to remember that you need to import that. So basically what you can do is that random has this function called random range, which is rand range, and you can specify that like from 0 to 5. You can print that out, print then random number out. So 1 or like 0. Now we can 2, 4. Run it again for several times. My ID is running a little bit slow, so that's the function of that. And also like the default value again is 0, so we can also like write the default start out. So that's the same, and also we can jump like certain number, we can jump for 3 steps, and then we will only have 0, 3 then as a result, and 5 is not included. It should be like the next number should so like we can only print out 0 and 3. That's the random number. And yeah,
Michelle?
and then yeah.
There is a question in chat box.
Okay. The slash forward. It is a backslash. So if you want to print out the backslash, you need to put 2 backslash, because backslash plus the other thing have their special use. So you cannot directly print out a backslash. And yeah, if you have like more question about that, you can asking some follow-up questions. And then I will talk about the if statement. So if statement basically is constructed of like if something is true, and then we need to like print out something, or we need to do like certain perform on the codes. So the indentation after those is really important. For many IDE, it can be self-indented, but it's not like Python. You have like things like Java, you have things like this, and even you don't indent, it's fine. Although it would be really hard to look at. For Python, you don't really have like those curly brackets to specify the error in this if statement. So as a result, the indentation is super important. And what we can put is, for example, we can put like print hello world if it is true. Because we say like if true, which means that it is always going to be true. So we can change that to if false. Then we will not print out this because we will not enter those if statements. And the if true or if false can be replaced with something that is a little bit more complicated. So we can like have a variable that is called age, and if age is larger than 18, and which then it will be true, then we can print out like you are an adult. You are an adult. And print that out. You're an adult. You're an adult. I've just write a hyphen like this. So if I want to print out the hyphen, I need to add a backslash. Then we can print that out. Otherwise, it will throw. It will not like print as you want. Also, like if the age is 16, then the if statement, the condition is not satisfied, then we will not print out as. And then for if, we can also have an else statement. So like, if the age is larger than or like equal to 18, then you are adult. Otherwise, you are a child. So you are a child. My ID is a little bit slow today somehow. So you are a child, and then you're an adult. You are a child, and what we can also do is that we can just print out like else if. So here we only have two conditions. We can like modify this to like check which language does the person can do. For example, we will not specify this first, but if my ID is not working too well today somehow. If the language equals to Python, for example, and then we can print out that you're a Python programmer, you're a Python programmer, and else if, so we can do like else if, it's fine, but we can also just change that to elif. So elif the language equals to Java, then we'll print out that you are a Java programmer, Also do several like elif language, JavaScript, and we have print you are a Java programmer. And we can still add the else, but we can also not adding this. It's also fine. So we can test this like the language is Python. It will give us like you're a Python programmer. It is JavaScript. So it will print out like you're a JavaScript programmer let's still add the else. And you can write print like you are a programmer of other languages, and possibly you can like put R here, and it'll show you are a programmer of other languages. And we can add more conditions. So if we have like R and we have like H, we have like an H, we can also like have a like time. And like we can say that if the language equals to Python, and if like our age is larger than like 14, and we can like change this to like welcome to this camp, and then we can put the if statement inside another if statement. So like if the time is 8, I don't know, my laptop is loading. Oh yeah, it came out now. So if the time is 8, and we can put like all time is 9, or like if the time is 8 and the time is 9, that's not possible because we cannot into time. But sometimes if we have other things, like if the age is 8 and the age is 9, they can be coexist. And we can print out that like you need to join the Zoom meet. You need to join the Zoom meeting. And like we can put else here, for example, like else we can print that we can do some, if the time is not at this time, then probably can say that we can review the content. And we can do else if, like else if the language equals Java, or we can also like do or like and, or language equals to, for example, like R, and we'll say that you probably like you can wait for the next camp, and then we can also like print out else. You are a programmer of other language, so we can like put an age like 18. We can put the time like possibly equal to 8, and then like the languages are, so we go here and the language is Python, and then we can Python is satisfied here, and the age larger than 14 is satisfied here, and then welcome to this camp, and then we check the time is 8, so you need to go and join the Zoom meeting. That's the conditions and the if statement. And also what you can do is that you can do a concise version of it. So yeah, a concise version, a short-handed version of the condition is like if language equals to Python, and then we can do that if language equals to Python, then we will print out that you can do Python, and we can also do this like print. You can do Python if the language equals to Python, else we will print like probably like you can do other language. You can do other language, other down, and then we can check that out. So you can do Python, because we have satisfied this, and probably we can change that to like R. this will not print anything because it does not have an else statement. Only if when Python is true, it will print out. You can do Python for this. We have if equals to Python, then we'll print out this, else we'll print out this. So this is two kinds of short-handed conditions in the if statement. And the next part, we will talk about the loops. So for loops, we can loop through a list. So for example, we have a list. Yeah, we haven't talked in deep about the list first. This list can be like recode, winter, recode, winter, Python, and possibly just Java. And then we can like just traverse the elements in this list by right for I or like for X in anything like in this list, and then we can print out the element. So this like every time it's the element in the list, we can print out recode, winter, Python, and then Java. And we can also like what I want to talk about is like for the string. If we do this, like this should call it string. It will not like print out each element, but it will print out like each alphabet. But we have already saw that also. So just a quick review. So we'll print out like just each element in the string, but this is a for loop. So possibly you have seen the for loop for quite a while. And also we can do that. For example, we have a list called languages, and we will have like Python, then Java, then R, So if we have a list like this, and we want to traverse it, but if it equals to Python, then we will not print it out. Then we can do something called the break. So for I in the list called language, if I equals to Python, and then we will break, which we will then like not continue doing everything, but we would better like move a place so that we can see them more clearly. So yeah. So here we put to put Python like here, and what the break would do is that it will not print out anything that is after Python, including Python. So if I equals to Python, we do break, and if it's not equals to at any time, so any time before that, we can print out like you can do this languages, like can print that out. So basically, you can see that you can do Java, you can do R, you can do Julia, but when it meets Python, we have nothing. And we will not go to C and C++. And another is called continue. So for continue, after you encounter Python, it will just break out, but then it will break in, it will like came in again. So only Python will be skipped. So yeah, Python is skipped. We don't have Python, but we still have C and C++ with continue, but not with break. And we can do for loop was like the function of the list of the string like this. And what we can also do is that we can do the range. So for doing a range, we can do like for I range 10, and we can print out each element in the range. We will have 0 to 9, and 10 is not inclusive. And we have actually talked about the range a bit. We have talked about like the range, sometimes it's inclusive, sometimes it's not inclusive. And Also, what we will talk about is that we can do nested loops. So, for example, we can create a list of adjectives like the first, and then like probably we will not we will create actually like happy, excited, and then we can create like days, like happy Monday, something like this, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let me check the chat first. I joined oh, someone can help me sound the Google Doc again, and I probably will not able to be look at the chat because today my laptop is super stuck. So when I open the chat, like I feel like my chat and my ID is just frozen there. So yeah, I probably will not check that, but someone can remind me of that. So like for Xing adjectives, and for each Xing adjectives, for each time we loop each element, we also like traverse the days. So we can write for y in days, and then we can print out that like x plus the space and plus y. And what we will get is I will get happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, sad Monday, sad Tuesday, sad Wednesday, and tight Monday, tight Tuesday, tight Wednesday, and just like this. Happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday. I have forget a comma here. So it's like this. This is called nested loops. Nested loops can be really helpful when we try to like get the inner dimension in a list or in an array. So I can talk about that later, but yeah, I can try to give a brief example here. So we have like 1, 2, 3, just a list. We can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can do like for x, like in the outer. So basically what I mean is like we can so first traverse that for outer loop, just we will get the first one, the second one, and the third one. But what we would do is that like when we traverse like the first, the second, the third, for each one we will go to this one, this one, this one. And this is the time that we can use the nested for loops, and I will elaborate that later. And then I will also briefly talk about while loop, but also probably you already get a sense of it. Like we can initiate count for a while loop, and we can do that with a count is smaller than 5, then the loop will always go on and go on. And we can just probably like the count of string count. And we need to remember to add the counts should be updated each time. Otherwise, since the count will never increase, then it will become an infinite loop. So here the count is plus 1 each time. You count 0, we count 1, 2, 3, and 4. For sometimes the while loop and the for loop, you can use them as the same, but for while loop, you don't really need to know like how many steps, how many exact rounds do we need to go through. But for the for loops, you need to know that. And for the for loops, probably you do not know like the terminal value, like the terminal range. But like for the while loop, you need to specify that it should be like smaller than 5. That's the difference between a while loop and a for loop. And also, what we can do is that we can also print else statements as in this while. So like if it's breaking from those like while loop, and we can print out the else statement is that the count is too large. The count is larger than 5, larger or equal to 5. Thus satisfied. The count is too large. So that is a while else statement, or like while else loop or something like that. And also we can still do break here. So what we can do is that, for example, when count equals to like 4, and we can like break that out, so it will not print the things after. So yeah, I haven't added the counts here. I accidentally delete that, so it's going to do the infinite loop, which it can crash your computer if you just run that for too long. And the 4 is already the last one, so possible we can do like 2, and we will only get to 2. We will not get to 3 then. Also like try 3, then we will not get to 4 then. And also we can do continue, so which after we has broken from this loop, for the value temporarily we'll get back, which is similar when we do the while loop. However, this has a problem. We need to modify the sequence here, which is different from break and different from the for loop. If we want to do something like this, then we need to like reround it. We need to put the count at first, and we need to put the print statements here, and then it will give us the right result that you want. Otherwise, you will do a infinite loops, which is also on the side again. And then we will talk about function. The advanced part of the function, we have talked about the basic part. We have talked about that it takes parameter and the arguments are parsed through the parameter. And also some do not need to have a parameter, and also it has a return statement, but also you don't need to add the return statement all the time. And what I will also talk about is that you can define something like this. So we can have a name function, and so here it's like all the same. We have like name 3, name 2, name 1, and we can print out that like the name of the youngest person, the name of the second youngest person, the name of the third youngest person. My IDE is a bit broken today. Somehow I don't know why. It's like this. Plus the name 1. And we'll add a comma and second youngest name. And we also have third youngest. Third youngest. Plus name 3. Just like this. I will not add a comma because you approximately get the sense that I will not like write a complete sentence and print out that. But if we just do like see name, like the first probably like Elon Musk, The second can be like get gates, and the third we can type like add a left plus the first computer programmer, and then like Elon Musk will go to the third. It'll be the third youngest, and Bill Gates will be the second youngest, and Ella Lovelock will be the youngest, which is totally the opposite. This is not what we decided. Wait a second. Name one, yeah, double column. But add that. So this doesn't make sense. Ada Lovelace is the oldest person. So what we are going to do is that Ada Lovelace should be the third youngest person, so oldest person. The person should equals to name one. No, name three. So here the person should be equals to name three, and guess should be equals to name two, and Elon Musk should be equals to name one. So even we are not putting them in the sequence, if we do like this, we can still print them in this right sequence. So youngest person is Elon Musk, then second is Bill Gates, and then it's Ada Lovelace. And what we can also do is that we can, if we don't know like how many arguments are we going to pass, we can just write something like this. So write something like this. So we can have like the arbitrary keywords. And what can we do is that we have like name one, name two, name three, but we don't know the exact. So they are all called name, but the first is for name one. So we can put a bracket and put name one in this bracket. And for the second, we can, it's called name, but a special one of that is called name two. So we can put a bracket in after name, and here again the bracket after name, and this specific name is called name three, and print that again. So this is basically the same thing, but it is used when the keywords of the argument is unknown. And also we can have like default parameter for a function. So for example, what I would do is that we can define a my name function. So we can make the default name, for example, like Ada Lovelace. And we can print out like the name is first name, and we can return them, but we can just return nothing, it's fine. And then we can call my name. If we call my name, like call Michelle, then it will give the same thing as a normal function. So we have the parameter called name, and the Michelle is passed to the name. However, when we just call a empty function with no argument, it will give the default argument, which is Ada Lovelace. But if we put any element in that, it would just pass the elements that you have been put here. So that's called like the default parameter. And then I will talk about what is called lambda. So lambda is basically somewhat really like a mathematic function. So for example, we can have an x which equals to lambda a, and the a it's just like a mathematic function. So it's like fx equals to x plus 10, like this. And if we print out x, which is 5, then it will give you 15. And we can pass down several of them. Like if we have like ABC, and we have like a blah blah strange number called like AB, B times C, and then if we put 3 arguments like 3, 4, 5, and then it will follow the rules here specified in this lambda. So just 3 plus 4 times 5 equals to 23. And you can also like do that in a function. So if, for example, if we have a my function, which will take the parameter of num, and we can return like lambda x, and it is the function, like the real like function, which is lambda is defined as x plus the number. And then we can call like my num first. So my num equals to my function, and my function is 2. So the argument 2 will be passed to the num. So basically we have got num x, and then double column x plus 2, but we still don't know the x. So what we are going to do is that we are going to call this my num, and we will specify this x is 3, and then we can print that out because it's 3 is just like the old way is like 3 plus 2, so it should be 5. And yeah, so also like I'm basically go over the list because we have already talked something about the list, so it would be also quick. So this is a list, and the list we can slice that through like my list and then 0, so it will print out this first element. You can print out like the second element like this, and it doesn't really have to be a number, but we can also like put string and number together. It is also fine. And we can do list slicing, which just we will put like the start value like this, and then we will have the end value, and then we have the step value, which is just similar to the string slicing. So here, like if we do like this, then so like from 1 to like probably 1 to 7, which would be clearly like 1, we'll first give like 1 is this one, and then jump to step, it will be this one, and then it will be this one, and 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Then this one is not inclusive, this is inclusive, so this is the last one we will get, we will not get to this one. And also it also like we can just, if we want to from the first to the end of the list, then that's what we can do, also like the first index to the last of them. And also we can just start from 0, but we can specify the end, like 4. Then we'll start from the defaults of 0 to 4, and we can slice the entire list with this. And we can slice the entire list, but we can have the step of 2. It's like this, and we can also have negative index, such as -1 to give us the last one, and we can also try negative my list. And it will give us Michelle because that's the one with the index like this. And what we can also do is that we can from the first one, and we know that Lambda list already gave us the entire length, and we can just add a lot of after those, so the index can be really large, but it will not throw an arrow like on Java. So this is also similar to string slicing again. And also if one is slicing from 1 to 3, and we put a negative value, it will give us nothing because you will just go before 1. Then also like if we want to 3 to 1, then it should be negative. If we really want to print out some value, it should be negative. Otherwise, if not specified, the default is 1, it will not give you anything. So that's basically about list slicing, and we will talk about the rest the next class. We'll talk about the list inserts and append and remove, and also pop and extend, so and so on. So I will also share the assignment for this time. So basically, the assignment this time is that like it's similar to the last time, but review the materials in class and also like you can practice some problem on coding bats and try to complete like 5 practices from each of the following category: string 1, logic 1, or list 1. You can also try string 2, logic 2, and list 2. They are more challenging than this one, but it's also like not really too hard. And for the next class, we will not do coding bats. So basically, this is the last class as a coding bats assignment. So it's really nice to check that out. And if we have any problem with coding bats, any problem with like the most concise solution, just send the questions into the worksheet or just send a private message to me on Slack channel. And let me see the chat. I didn't understand what is needed to put. Why else need to put a function? Also, like df is the start of the function. So we have one here, but I can write a more concise one. So like my function name, like print out my name is, and then plus name. So we can call this function my function. And if we don't put that, we don't know what that is. So it just means nothing, but only with def, we are like defining a function. We can call this my function by passing my name here. And we can print that out. We can also like put other name here. Like other, and it will print out this. So we need to define function because sometimes possibly we have like 100 steps in a function, but it can take in different values. It can take like different, like for astrophysics, for example, it can take different right extension and declination. But then after taking those two values, it will go through all kind of loops, all kind of functions, all kind of like other functions, and it's just so complicated. So you don't need to like put something specifically for that value each time, but if you have this function, it will just save a lot of work. You don't need to copy paste again and again. And also, are there any questions? So if you don't have question, you can feel free to leave this class, but if you have questions, just feel free to stay and ask them. Thank you so much. So please put the question. You can put the question into the worksheet. And you can also like look at the slides in the sheet. Thank you. You're free to go if you don't have question. Yeah, but feel free to stay, just like always. I have joined. Oh, you can talk. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say, what can you recommend any, I don't know, materials, resources, books, websites which you use to learn Python?
Oh, okay. I think I can like just post them into documents. So yeah, you can check the works on daisy worksheets, and I will put on the books and also the like online websites or something all in that. And also I would send that again in the Slack channel in case someone like didn't see that worksheet. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. And also I have another question, which is The concept that was covered today. Yeah, okay, so the concept that covered today is first on the last part of the string, which is string formats, and then it's about randomization, just briefly about that, and then it's about conditions and if statements, and then for loops and while loops, and then functions as the advanced part of the functions. And also at the end, we'll have briefly talk about list. And yeah, so next class we are going to talk about list comprehension, sets, dictionaries, and also the NumPy array. That's for the next class. And for details, for the format is just how to like have some space there, and also like how to specify the number should be in percent format or like in after the points there are like 1 digit, 2 digits, or 3 digits, and also like how are the things aligned differently using the format function of the string. And randomization is just import random, and random has a function, so random dots, you can have a function called range, so RAND, RANGE, and then parentheses. So in the parentheses, you can put the range of the random numbers that you want, and then just conditions. So if statement, if blah 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 is true, else blah blah, else do something, if do something, else do something, else do something. Can you check the first day's assignment? Okay, yeah, okay, definitely. Yeah, okay, I think I have checked Superson. Probably like you're the only one that hasn't checked because someone has shown the assignment in class, but yeah, I think all of your first assignments are really amazing. The methods, I really love them. Yeah. It's okay. Like we also have the recordings, so it's fine. You can also ask any question you have regarding to like what you haven't been listened about. So it's fine. And thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you so much. And do anyone still have any questions? I'm going to stop recording first. Stop recording.